on page 2 online.
There we are. We're good.
Okay, thank you very much. I would like to call this meeting to order for the Pacific Rim School District Public Board meeting for Tuesday, December 16th at 4:01. We acknowledge that we are meeting on the Haukli of the Tishot and Hupetcheset First Nations. We also acknowledge that we have schools located on the Haukli of the Huayet, Tolokwiet First Nations and the Ukuluthot government. May I please get approval of the agenda? Moved by Craig.
Second, Bray.
Second, Gray. All in favor? Great. I can see Larry and Helen online and the, yes, okay, great. And now I'm just going to do a brief around the table of introductions, just so everybody knows who we are. Hello, my name is Cynthia Orr. I am chair of the board. And I'll move to my right.
Sure, we'll say good afternoon or good evening, but hello, everyone. I'm Peter Claver, the superintendent.
Hello, everyone. James Mester, assistant superintendent.
Kalama Umakak Tekla. My name is Rich Talent Within. Most people know me as Brandy Lauder, elected chief counselor for Hupetcheset First Nation.
Thanks, Brandy. And I'll move to online, just it's a circle for us. So I'll go Helen first, then Larry. Oh, Helen, we couldn't hear you.
Oh, can you hear me
yeah.
now?
Yeah.
Sorry, I hit the wrong button. Helen Zanetti, trustee.
Thank you, Larry.
Aklama Larry Ransom, trustee.
Great. And Asma Nahi.
Hi, everyone. I'm Asma Nahi. I'm from Toquot Nation.
Thank you. Sorry about that. And
Sherilyn Bray, trustee.
Uklama Brent Ronning. I am the education manager at Huayet First Nations.
Uklama, Pam Craig, trustee.
Uklama, Janice Joseph, trustee.
Uklama, Chris Washington, vice chair.
thank you, everybody. Nice to see everyone here. Thank you for joining us. So moving down, do we have any conflicts of interest to declare? Everyone has had the agenda to take a look at. So does anybody have any conflicts to declare? No? Okay, perfect. And can I get adoption of the minutes from November 25th, 2025? Joseph. Joseph moved.
Second, Bray.
Second, Bray. Any comments or questions on the minutes from our last public board meeting? No? All in favor? Okay, so moved. Thank you. Okay, so moving down to number 5, announcements from the chair. First things first, I just wanted to say that we got this beautiful little Christmas card from the Learning on the Land from the Valley. I will pass it around. And it's just showing how much the kids love the new program happening. So I will leave it here for everybody to see. So it's a beautiful card. I know. So we can pass it around. I know. And then, yeah, you don't have to read it right now.
That's okay.
And then going down to 5.1, our co-governance discussion. So I just have a little script that I'm going to read. Oh, yeah. Yeah. To open the meeting. Oh my gosh.
Aaron, we apologize.
Aaron, we apologize. Aaron, will you please come up and open our meeting for us?
Tishnana at kwaya to quiz. Ayat ana to kwaya atuk. My oh, why oh here, why oh here, he oh, why oh here. Ayata Tishnana Adquaya Tukui. Ayatana Tuquaya Atuk. By oh, here. No, no, my Shaklis. Ayaka Tishnana Akwaya Tukri. Ayakana Tukwaya Atuk. By oh, why oh, here. Why oh, here, here. Why oh, here. Ayaka Tishnana Akwaya Tukui. Ayakana Tukwaya Atuk. Why oh. Two. Many years ago to this day, our people have met to take care of business with neighboring nations, neighboring tribes, always welcoming each other into their house, looking after them well, feeding them. When we utilize our songs through our culture, through our protocol before meetings are get underway, we're grounding ourselves. Everybody in the room is absorbing that song, absorbing that drum beat, grounding ourselves and show Isak Stashin, practice Isak Stashin, making sure that that meeting is carried forward in a good way, that all feel that they're being respected. I wanted to share that. Ollie. Chew.
Thank you. Thank you for being here this evening. I mean, such.
Aaron, please accept our deepest gratitude to you and the Taysha First Nation for opening the meeting in such a meaningful way. Thank you. You don't have to stay for the meeting if you don't want to.
Yes, you do.
Yes. So tonight marks a meaningful milestone for our school district as we formally welcome the new Channel Nations selected representatives to the board table as part of our co-governance model. We are deeply honored by your presence here this evening. I would like to take a few moments to share the journey that has brought us to this point. This work began back in August of 2023, when the Board of Education, senior staff, and the new Channel Nations came together to explore whether a co-governance relationship was something we wished to build collectively. From the very beginning, our intention was clear: to create a model grounded in meaningful partnership, not symbolic participation. In December of that year, the district received a legal briefing that clarified what is and what is not possible under the current provincial legislation. The School Act or the Elections Act allows school districts to add additional trustees. So unfortunately, the selected representatives sitting with us tonight cannot serve as trustees and do not hold voting authority. That said, legislation does allow each nation to select a representative who can sit at this table during public board meetings and standing committee meetings to fully participate in discussion and debate. This understanding shapes the role of selected representatives chosen by each nation to bring their voices, perspectives, and wisdom to our public governance process. And in early 2024, after an in-caucus meeting among nations and further joint discussions, we collectively agreed to move forward with a non-voting co-governance model. We so we so hold a broader hope for the future. It is our belief that by modeling co-governance successfully here in our district through respect, collaboration, and shared purpose, other districts across the province may be encouraged to follow our lead. In time, collective leadership in this area may support provincial reconsideration of the School Act, with the possibility that voting roles for Indigenous representatives could one day be made legally possible. Please note that our standing committees, Education Committee, Finance, Operations and Assets Committee, and Policy Committee, meet to discuss topics in an open and collaborative manner, then providing recommendations to the Board of Education. They are made up of designated trustees and representatives from partner groups and act only in an advisory capacity to the Board of Education. Other than approval of each meeting's agenda, no voting happens at these committee tables. The only co-governance meetings that selected representatives join us for that include voting only by our Board of Education trustees are public meetings. In October of this year, Board of Education trustees and our Director of Instruction, Indigenous Education visited nations personally, delivering renewed invitations and presenting a hand-beaded feather as a symbol of relationship and respect. Nations were invited to reconfirm the name of their selected representative, with their responses bringing us to where we stand today. In November, we confirmed that tonight would be the first official co-governance meeting. In March 2026, our governance policy will be brought forward to the Policy Committee with the membership of standing committees being considered for revision. I also want to ensure our community that this initiative has been undertaken responsibly. There is no additional cost to the school district associated with this co-governance model. It operates within existing governance structures and requires no new remuneration or budget allocations. Tonight is the beginning of a new chapter, one grounded in partnership, mutual learning, and a shared commitment to the students we all serve. The perspective shared by our new channel partners will inform our discussions, shape our decisions, and strengthen the educational experiences of all students and families across our region. On behalf of the Board of Education, I want to express our deepest gratitude to each New Challenge Nation for your trust, your leadership, and your willingness to walk forward with us in this new way. I would now like to open the table for comments from our selected representatives and trustees. Thank you. Yes, Trustee Washington.
Thank you, Chair. All right, this is a very emotional time for me. Very, very happy to see this happening. Other than being elected as a trustee, this is probably my second best day at this job.
I'll take that first. Okay.
I am so excited and thank you for the nations that could be here and those that couldn't that are online. We are all working for all students. And I think it's extremely important to have your voices here and heard and to help us along with the position. I hope that long-term there will be some changes to government's decisions on voting. I don't know how or when that will happen. It's just we as a non-Indigenous people have so much to learn. Trustee Craig and myself were we had a cleansing done at our Chamber of Commerce, and it was phenomenal. The education that Ronnie Hamilton gave to us was incredible as to where their beliefs come from, and it was very simply put so that we could understand. But I realized then and there we have a lot to understand or a lot to learn. And one of the things that he said, I've already shared this with other board members, but one of the things he said was that what a different world this would be today if the Europeans had just been open to talking to the nations instead of taking over the country. And I believe that it's taken us a long time to get here, but we're starting to work together to see what that can be. So thank you all for being here. And this is very, very important to me. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Washington. Yes, Trustee Craig.
Thank you very much, Chair. Istachukla Sumaat. And that means that I come from Port Alberni, and I come from a settler family that came to this community in the 1800s. And I was pleased and happy to be able to live and raise my two sons here in this beautiful community and learn as much as I possibly could about those that gave us this land and allowed us to stay here. So as I grew through all of that work that I had with the young people, with all the youth, I knew I had to become a trustee because I knew that in my heart it needed to be shared with the community. And we are now here. We have the nation sitting with us in the same room. So it's taken me a long time, and I tend to feel like I should apologize because it's taken a long time. But I am so glad that we are now at that point where we have the voices at our elbows, able to talk to us, explain to us as we move with decisions, how those decisions should evolve. So at this time, thank you, Trustee Washington, for also being there. The last 8 years, we worked really hard to bring this final place, and now we are moving forward. That doesn't mean that we won't be lobbying government, and that doesn't mean that the ministry isn't watching us. So we are prepared to do the very best we possibly can to make sure that we have those voices from the nations with us going forward forever. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Craig. Is there anybody else like to make a comment or a question? Or yes, I'm sorry. I'm Cynthia Orr. I'm the chair. I don't think we've met.
So I'm Harley Wiley. I'm Sishat First Nation.
Thank you. Welcome.
So yes, thanks for the comments and noting that we're going to be moving forward in many different ways. And I'm glad to hear that because we've already had a Indigenous in caucus session on the direction that the group would like to go. And that was supported by the executive director of the Indigenous Education Division of School District 61, Victoria, who was here to provide information and support and background on the progress they've made and the challenges they still face. So I think that's a good direction that we'll be looking at is, yes, this is an important step to have First Nation Indigenous trustees not voting, but it's a step in the right direction. We'll be pursuing voting as per, we feel we do have the rights to. And the other thing is, in addition to support from School District 61, the city of Esquimalt, the town, the mayor and council have made recommendations to have voting First Nation trustees within their school district in Victoria. So I'm following that closely, and I'll be doing some follow-up work with School District 61 and the city of Esquimalt because I think those are important steps for us to recognize and to work towards. And the other thing is, the reality is, even though School District 61 has the Indigenous Education Division, and they've been in existence for 43 years now, and they have an executive director, executive assistant, staff, teachers, teachers assistants, language teachers, arts teachers, etc. They still don't have a vote. So they too are working towards a similar thing that First Nations, Indigenous people here are working towards. And again, it's gaining understanding and momentum by the city of Esquimalt, the mayor and council, recognizing there needs to be change. So this is a unique time, and I'm glad to be part of this too, because as a kid growing up here in the education system, and as an adult, I never thought that we'd be reaching the stage that we are here to be sitting at the table, having our voices heard and work towards a better future. So I too am thankful for this and glad to be here. So thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Oh, yes, Kay. Oh.
Thank you, Chair, through you to the room. I am as well a bit emotional tonight. It's no secret. One of the main reasons why I ran to be a school trustee was to make sure this district was moving forward in regards to reconciliation. And so I was pleasantly surprised when I got elected that, this was already in motion. And at our inaugural meeting, we made some motions and we have followed through with those motions. And I'm honored to be sitting here in this room. And, you know, I hope that our nations can have a vote one day, but just know that you can influence me, please educate me. Influence me, because I think that that's one way to just make sure that your voices are heard. I just want to give a shout out to my grandparents and my parents who aren't with us anymore. I know that they are with me tonight. And 2 residential school survivors that I am so grateful and honored to have in my life, Grandma Geraldine and Richard Hall. And this work is because of them. So thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Bray. Trustee Zanetti online.
Thank you, Chair Orr. I just wanted to say welcome. And I wanted to acknowledge that the district and we work already with the nation so well, and I thank you for that. And
Thank you, Trustee Zanetti. Asma hi.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, trustees. I just want to echo the same sentiment I was born and raised in Port Alberni, and I now live in Squamish, Tsleil-Waututh, and Musqueam lands. But recognizing how education systems continue to grow and continue to shift and continue to change, and acknowledging that and saying there needs to be more voices of Indigenous voices sitting around the table, First Nations, Inuit, and Métis, and navigating such systems isn't always been easy. But this is exciting to know that a school district, and thank you for raising School District 61, because I also lived and worked and learned on their lands in Kosapsan and Lekwungen lands for about 25 years before moving over to the mainland. But navigating education systems, and from my own personal experience, and navigating with it around boardrooms and around classrooms, it's exciting. This is how we move forward, and this is a small example of reconciliation, and I'm grateful to have this opportunity to sit in circle with each of you. And I look forward to the ongoing continuing change and hoping to get a vote on important decisions that don't just affect Indigenous and affect all students as well. So grateful to be here, and thank you for giving me a chance to speak.
Yes, thank you. Trustee Ransom.
Thank you, Chair, through you to the group. I'm deeply honored to be a part of this new process, and thankful that our nations can be a part of our board table. It's been a long time coming, and I look forward to working with each and every one of you on moving forward with reconciliation. So again, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Trustee Ransom. Any more comments or questions on governance? Now we can keep moving down. Okay. Thank you, everyone. I'm very excited about this. Okay, moving down to item number 6, we have student voice from E.J. Dunn Elementary School.
Uplama Darren Olson, E.J. Dunn Elementary School. And we have, with the direction of Ms. Badavinik, my vice principal in the back there, really been focusing on trying to improve school attendance as a way to have students in seats and learning numeracy and literacy, and making sure we're moving in that regard. And no better way than to improve and make some steps forward towards attendance. So we brought a few students here today, and in honor of what we were just hearing as well, wanted to let you know that we start our week, as many schools do now, with Nasha Kuklin, a song given to us by Aaron Watts, a shop member. And we want to grow together as a group, and we are strong together. That's how we start our week. And acknowledging that we're on the shared territories of the Etchison and Taushat First Peoples. We start our week that way as well. just to give honor to the people whose lands we're on. We're going to start in that way today. We won't go to the paperwork yet. We wanted to have some student voice, and it's the direction from Peter and trustees just to have a few places on the table from students and what they wish to see or why they like to come to school. And we have a couple grade 5 students and a couple grade 7 students. We might have a third. She's not sure if she's going to speak or not yet. She's on the sidelines here. But we just want Blake Gallup to stand up first. Stand with him. A little bit of support. Are you okay? You may have seen Blake at a different meeting at a little closer. And one of our first questions was to why students like to come to school. So if you would like to share. Wanted to introduce himself in the right way. Learned that from his teacher in grade 4 or 5 class last year, Dane, and then Angie that used to come into our, or still comes into our school to do some language with us. So he started our Indigenous Education Committee meeting that way with him. So why do you like to come to school? Like
for the fun activities like gym class, art, and music, and playing with my friends.
What do you play with your friends?
I play infection at recess.
And the last.
Playing on the school's basketball team.
Do you want to explain what infection is?
Yeah, that would be.
It's not that.
It's technically just TIG, but when the person tags you, then that means that you're both it. And it keeps on going around.
Spreads. And we have Hope Alder has also been in Blake's class. So you may have seen Hope at different things. She's a very prominent member of our school. So would you be willing to share why you like to come to school? Hope?
I like to come to school because I want to learn and get an important job and pay my own bills and get my own house. School to do all the activities and sports.
Thank you very much.
Also on the basketball team.
Yeah.
Works, but you can run around the whole time, smile on her face the whole tournament. That was pretty neat to see.
Blake and Hope, that's good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Rock, paper, scissors, you two?
You got this.
This is Dana, grade 7 student. He's gonna add a little bit from her notes, but.
I like coming to class because how much fun I have, and I always feel welcomed to come into my class. When I don't go to school, I'm always bored, really bored because I have no friends to hang out with, and that's another reason why I go to school is so I can hang out with my friends. But if I'm having a bad day, I can hang out with my friends. And I also go to school because of the sports, because it's good exercise and good and I like to play sports with all my friends because then I can practice at school and practice with them, so then I can get really good at working together with them.
You want to stay standing or? Hannah? Anna's a grade 7 student in the same class as Dana. I was quite heartened that we did a survey that Ms. Badavinik sort of touched on. We wanted to get some online notes together, but then we wanted to have students present here, and quickly had 2 hands up here, went into their class, and they quickly volunteered. These two, the only, they did a opportunity to do a board presentation for one of your learning outcomes or a speech. These two were the only ones that chose to speak on their topic in class. Ms. Nesbitt was quite pleased with that. So, Anna?
I go to school for a few reasons, like my teacher was extremely kind and helps me understand the curriculum when I don't quite understand and need a bit of extra help. Another reason is my friends. Like when I'm having a bad day, they're always there for me, as am I for them. And of course, the fun we have. My next reason would be group work, because the connections I build while working in groups and the learning experience I get from listening to others' opinions. My fourth reason is going to be how welcome everyone is at the school. The teachers are all so kind, and so are most of the students. And most, because I know not everyone gets along since it is an elementary school. But mostly the kids are kind. My last reason would be my future. I know most kids at my age unfortunately don't take learning very seriously because we're young. But I disagree. I think learning at every age is important, so I try to learn as much as I can so the next grade isn't as hard for me, and those are the reasons why I try to go to school every day.
Thank you.
Kylie's been quite a leader in our school this year, and I asked her to speak. She was a little bit shy, Blake's older sister, but a leader in our school with our little kids. She's one of our lead singers for Nasha Guckman on mornings, and just carried herself in the right way at our school. And don't want to push her today, but I'm glad she's here just to bear witness to this. Ms. Badavinik, do we have anything you would like to add? Or just the trustees maybe had some questions of us to begin with?
Oh,
That's not for me. But
me down. I was looking at the, sorry, I was looking at the.
Not so much a question, but I just want to thank the students for coming. This is hard to do. We really understand to come and talk to people you don't know, but we really care about you and really are glad that you did come, because this makes our days. That's why we do what we do as trustees, to make sure that you are doing well at school and enjoying your classes. Obviously, you stated that this evening about feeling well for when you get to school, and that is really, really important to us. So thank you. And yes, I saw all those little faces at the EJ Dunn Christmas concert, and thank you so much. You guys were amazing as usual. So thank you, Mr. Olson, for bringing your students.
Thank you. Anybody else? Any? Oh, yeah, you go.
Don't Jack, wait for questions, or we could just comment a little bit on that.
Oh, yeah.
Most of the data, I don't know, don't want to rain on your thunder here or parade bad terms this time of year. I guess we were noticing that a lot of the results were showing that the kids want to be there because of their friends. And that was probably the biggest point there. And the fun activities that we have. We're careful that sometimes too much fun can lead to dysregulation and a little bit of chaos. So we try to balance that out. We really discuss that as a staff on when's how much fun, when we're having it, and being careful of that. So I think there were some pieces on the survey that we had individual students' results that Ms. Badavinik, I don't know if you want to keep cutting you off.
It's okay. Yeah, just interesting things, and we're just as a staff now starting to dig into this a little bit deeper about some stuff. Now that we've heard back from students, we know a lot of the reasons why students aren't coming to school. For those ones that are chronic, but it's the everyday, miss here, miss there. So we've put in a lot of initiatives to try and increase our attendance across the board.
interesting when you ask kids, what do you think you could do to help us improve our attendance? And I was surprised at how many of them said, you know, we got our typical more recess, shorter days. We had someone suggest that we go 4 days a week, 2 hours a day, those kinds of things. But lots of them like were suggesting things like, let's start a little bit later. You'd improve attendance a bit later. And, you know, we probably had 20 or 30, between 20 and 30 kids respond with comments like start at 9:30 instead of 9 o'clock, or start at 10, or those kinds of things. So there is some thought and some awareness. I try to dig in a little bit to the online piece a bit, because I think we underestimate the influence that gaming and screen time and stuff has on our families and the ability to get enough sleep and all of those things that happen. So there's a little aspect of that in the survey. It's hard because kids aren't always reflecting on that as an issue. But those are just some of the things that we're looking at and trying to get a better understanding of what the impacts are and what can we do as a school, as teachers, as educators, as a school district to help get some of our kids to school more regularly.
Thank you.
Any comments or questions on that? Yes, Trustee Washington.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, students, for coming today. As Trustee Craig said, this is important to us. We want to know what you like and don't like about school. And I can almost bet you that now that you've spoken, it wasn't nearly as bad as you thought it was. We're just normal people. So happy to have you here. Yeah. I'm just having such a good day. I don't know what else. Tears are being free flowing.
Yeah.
Thank you. It is great to see you here, and I appreciate that you volunteered to be here. That's another great step for all of you. It'll help you later in life, believe it or not. And I'm not so old that I don't remember what it was like going to school, and I love to be there for my friends. So I get that.
Thank you, Trustee Washington. Anybody else have any comments or questions they would like to say? No. Okay, well, thank you very much for coming and speaking with us. And I hope you guys have a wonderful holiday.
Yeah. Counting the days, I bet.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for coming. You don't have to. You may leave. You may leave. You can stay, but you may leave. I like it. No. Thank you very much. Thank you. I think that's one of the best parts of our meeting is always getting the kids in here, like listening to them. So that's great. All right, moving down, we also on our agenda, we always leave space for trustees and representatives to have statements. So this is another opportunity. If anybody would like to say anything about the week or month, or I will go to Trustee Joseph first.
Thank you, through the chair. It's just been a nice week going to Christmas concerts at the schools and seeing all the hard work that the teachers are putting into the students. It's amazing, from the elementary ones to seeing up at the high school, the band concerts that are going on. The hard work behind the scenes is incredible. So it's been nice to go with some, go and see some.
Lovely time of year. Yeah, thank you. Sorry, my head was down. Who else had their hand up? Oh, yes, Trustee Craig, sorry.
Thank you very much. And thank you, Trustee Joseph. Absolutely. With school, EJ Dunn, John Howard, 2 band concerts were amazing. That's all I could manage to get into all the tight time for playing. And didn't get to Alberni Elementary, but I promised them because I was at the elementary basketball sitting next to 2 teachers from Alberni and wanted to know why I hadn't got there. So I'd explain my calendar. I even opened my phone. This is why I couldn't make it. But anyway, I will definitely make sure I don't miss them next year. And I did see Blake and Hope playing basketball. I am so excited by that program. just amazing. The kids out there enjoying that basketball, which is one of my favorite sports. However, the volleyball kids, I was there for their practice, and amazing talent coming out of that group as well, cross country, badminton next. But we do finish up with basketball again, do we not? Yes, yes. So there's more basketballs coming, and of course there's totals. Good. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Washington, then Bray. Anybody else?
Thank you. I'm along, excuse me, thank you, Chair. What's my voice? I'm along the same lines. I went to the McQuina afternoon Christmas concert. I have a granddaughter that goes there, as well as a young youth that I hang out with, and they were both fantastic. The concert was amazing, and I cannot, excuse me, give enough kudos to the music teacher. She organized the entire concert, did the banjas, the choreography, everything. It was just absolutely incredible and priceless. So thank you to all the teachers that are out there giving it their all this time of the year.
Thank you, Trustee Washington. Trustee Bray.
Thank you, Chair. I have not attended one Christmas concert, band concert or anything, and so my apologies. I'm happy to hear that you guys are representing. My schedule's been a little bit hairy. I did, however, have a chance to attend the Christmas lunch at the bus yard for our support staff. So I wanted to give a shout out to Assistant Superintendent Messenger and his elves for putting on this lunch, and it was a full turkey dinner. And it was just incredible, and special shout out to Mrs. Messenger. That is a family legacy stuffing recipe, and it's good. I also just wanted to take this time to thank both Assistant Superintendent and Superintendent Claver and Manager of Corporate Services Mason just for moving along with the co-governance and doing all the hard work of, researching and just making sure that this came to fruition. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you, Trustee Gray. Harley.
Oh, okay, thanks. Nothing current, but I just thought I'd add to what I'd said earlier. Reflecting on the school district, I was pleased when I reflected on when there was a recommendation to change the name of A.W. Neil Junior Secondary, which I went to as a teenager, and to change it, and ended up becoming Tuamass Elementary School. And I recall the online and public concern that was raised on that, but I also felt really good about the school district being progressive, because that recommendation came from the school district itself, which says a lot about how far we're coming as a society and being more inclusive and reconciliation before it became a really popular phrase. That was something I was really pleased to appreciate as I reflected on it deeper. I believe it was last year I went to Woods Elementary School I think they had chosen the logo. And it really brought, pride and appreciation to the fact that Indigenous and non-Indigenous children were talking and singing the songs that were being drummed and sung, that were really nothing I would ever have seen as a child in elementary school, and non-Indigenous children feeling proud and participating in this. So again, if we're going to change the society, if we're going to change the way we think and act, it starts with the children. And I was really pleased to see and be part of that. The other thing I mentioned, Victoria School District 61 Indigenous Education Division. I was part of that over 40 years ago. And that came about because of the foresight of people like Marie Cooper, who was Sartlet First Nation, who was the executive director that brought it from a short Indigenous Education Week funding. It was a project, and then further added to that by applying for additional funding that was longer term to bring it to an Indigenous education program, which was elevated from a project, and then continued pursuing that to make it a fully funded integral part of the school district, to be a division that brought on the executive director, executive assistant, a small complement of staff that has now grown to dozens. And I was glad to be part of that. I was one of the students at Camosun College at that time, and was recruited by Marie Cooper and Bob Warren to be part of it. And we're here over 4 decades later, and the work that they started is still something that we are pursuing. So I'm glad to be one of the people that is carrying the torch, so to speak, to do this. And this is one of the things that I'm going to be passionate about, is for us to work towards having voting seats as trustees, as is, I don't know which First Nation or municipality or school district it is, already has that. It isn't just Esquimalt, the city of Esquimalt, that is going to be precedent setting. I said that to them, and the mayor said, well, no, it's already been done by this other community, but I'm going to be following that because they are going to be approaching that for the benefit of an inclusive school district. And I'm glad that I've had those experiences to turn to find the support and examples to show our school district and the province this can work. These are examples of how it works, and this is why it should be changed to have inclusive voting seats. So I'm pleased, very pleased to be part of this, and it hadn't really sunk in until I think a week or so ago. I realized, oh, I'm being invited to be part of this. And I thought, oh, that's one more thing I'm doing. And I realized, so do I realize what I guess I have something to offer still, because this is an important position that we're all playing, and I'm glad to be part of it. So thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Zanetti.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to say thank you to everyone, board staff, all our teachers, our EAs, our support staff, our groundspeople, maintenance, trades, bus drivers, secretarial staff, all the admin staff, everybody. I'm trying to, there's so many departments, so I try to acknowledge them all because it's a giant team that make this district run. So thank you all, and thank the students for working hard and doing their best. Happy holidays to everyone, and thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Zanetti. I do have a little thing to say. Over the weekend in Ucluelet, the senior boys hosted their home basketball tournament and they won. It was great. They had great turnout. They blew the competition out of the water, so that was really fun. I took both my kids and had a great time watching the senior boys basketball.
Great.
Yeah, so it was very good. For a small school, they're doing really well. Okay, so if anybody has nothing to say, we will move on.
Just a quick thing.
Yes,
Sorry if
Cindy,
my
go
phone
ahead.
is blowing up. It's my niece's last cancer treatment.
Oh.
So right now my group chat's going on, this is her last treatment. She'll get tested next month and she should be back to school in like next month. Back in her body. So, yeah.
Great to hear, Brandy.
Sorry if my phone blows up.
Oh, no, it's okay. Is that what you wanted to say, or do you want to say?
That's it.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay, no, that's okay. All right, so we have no petitions, delegations, or presentations, so we move down to number 9, some new business, and 9.1, policy committee recommendation. Trustee Zanetti.
Thank you, Chair. So I just wanting to bring this to the board to have a discussion or to pass this on to staff to make adjustments or update policy 100. I think that it is necessary, but it just needs to be updated. It needs to, I believe, review it to see if it's in line with our strat plan, because there are some things that aren't exactly in line. It's very similar. And so, yeah, I'm just recommending that we have staff take a look at that to update it and make any recommendations. And then as well, policy 112 is also been requested to be reviewed. That's the trustee code of conduct. So if you have any questions, I guess I should make the motion as well. So
if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, that'd be helpful. That the Board of Education directs staff, excuse me, through the superintendent to forward policy 100 vision, mission, expectations, and policy 112 school trustee code of conduct to the policy committee for review.
Thank you. May I have a seconder?
Second.
Ransom.
Bring back a little second. Sorry, Larry. Yes. Any comments or questions or discussion on that?
I'm doing all the talking. My apologies. Thank you, Chair. When this came forward through emails, I couldn't understand what was happening because I'm sorry, I'm old and my brain is not as resilient as it used to be. And Trustee Bray reminded me that we had been through some processes that needed some changes. So I'm all for this moving forward, back to the policy committee.
Thank you. Any other further comments or questions on the motion on the table? Okay, we go to a vote. All in favor? Thank you. Motion is passed. Thank you, trustees Zanetti. Okay, now we go down to staff reports. Board office closure, Superintendent Claver.
Not as terrible as it sounds.
Like,
Just gonna clarify that.
yeah, only 2 minutes. too.
Leading into this comment, just looking, I didn't want to say this in front of the kids, but looking at their reasons why it's hard for me to come to school. Getting ready in the morning and not enjoying some parts of the day, and I just felt so much empathy for that. But then I reflected on what helps to come and my friends and teachers, and fills my bucket as being around all these amazing people. So on that, everybody's tired this time of the year, for us anyway, in this sector, and this. So the 19th is the last day with the kids. I can hear cheers when I say that. So the board office will be closed for 2 weeks. We'll have some payroll staff in here, but the front doors are locked and everybody sign up. So just a reminder, if you need to do any business with staff, that Friday's your last day.
That is it. Enjoy your break. Enjoy your break.
Still have yourself.
Deserved.
You're gonna do your off.
We turn it off.
Thank you. Any comments or questions about the board office closure for the holidays? None? Okay, moving on. 10.2 turf field, assistant superintendent messenger.
Yes, so I'm bringing forward this action sheet. It was in the board agenda for review and wanted to provide an update and recommended path forward for the ADSS turf field. As you may recall, concerns regarding the condition of the turf field were raised publicly at the September 9th Finance and Operations Committee meeting. And since that time, staff have been working with school leadership and community partners to assess the safety, use, and long-term options. The field is beyond its intended lifespan and continues to deteriorate, which means we're needing to closely monitor the condition to make sure it's passing safety testing. That at the same time, the turf field is relied heavily upon by school programs and community user groups. Those partners have been clear that they want to be a part of the solution. And they understand that the current financial model it needs review. A working group has been established to look at funding strategies, partnership models, governance options around a potential replacement. And the motions that I have recommended before the board are intended to do three things: maintain safety, provide clarity and stability for planning, and set a clear timeline and expectations for community contribution towards replacement. That's something we've heard really clearly at our 2 working group meetings from the partner groups, as they want to have some clarity around the timeline and the ask. It also outlines a fallback option should sufficient funds not be raised, so that the district can have a viable and financially responsible path forward. And I will respond to any questions.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Craig.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to make the motion so that we can get it on the table for discussion.
Sure.
So may I go ahead?
Yep.
Thank you. That the board approve that, subject to successful completion of annual safety compliance testing and the field remaining in safe operating condition, the ADSS turf field remain open for the school and community use until December 31st, 2026. That the board approve that if by December 31st, 2026, a minimum of $1 million has not been collected, raised by ADSS and participating community groups, and a sustainable plan has not been presented to the board, the operations department initiate planning to replace the existing surface with a non-irrigated natural grass field, with the understanding that timelines for grass installation may require limited continued use of the existing turf into spring 2027.
Second by Joseph. All right, let's have a discussion. Any comments or questions about this table? Yes, trustee Gray, Washington.
Thank you, Chair, through you to Assistant Superintendent Messenger. I know that you've had conversations with partner groups. Has there been follow-up? Has there been any miraculous donors? Anything to go on?
Through the chair. No, I think, and a lot of that is that the part behind the intention of these motions is they're looking for a clear direction. Like, is this really, our responsibility? What is the timeline? If it keeps passing safety, do we have to do anything about it? And so a part of this motion is to provide that clarity, to hopefully provide it so that the action piece of this can move forward.
Good. Can I get a follow-up?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh my God, it just left my brain. Sorry.
I'll come back. Yeah, trustee Washington.
Thank you, Chair, through to Assistant Superintendent. Excuse me, Messenger. I have a bit of concern with the non-irrigated natural grass field. When we had the discussion, you had said most of the user groups would prefer it be a turf field. That would be my first concern. Secondly, what if we don't even raise enough funds? And it's part of the motion for a grass field.
So the grass field is the cheapest option.
Yeah.
And it would be in line with the same fields that we have at all our other schools. In the opinion of staff, it would meet our minimum expectations for PE classes and the like. It would not meet the expectations of the community for community use. So it really, what we've heard, or what I've heard clearly from the partner groups and users, is turf is what they want because it provides the most use and year-round use in all weather. And I think if that's not viable, then what is best is the most affordable option for our district.
Sorry, may I follow up?
Yes, go ahead.
Can you remind me, pardon me, what the cost of a grass field was?
So the installation cost of the grass field was estimated at a little over $300,000.
Thank you.
Great, and then I'll go back to you, Bray. Yours.
You want to go first? Sure. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Quick question, follow-up. Let's pretend that never happened. Last inspection on the current turf field. I feel like it was recently, but just jog my memory a bit there.
No, the last inspection was at around this time last year. We got the finalized report in the spring. So the operations department is scheduling the next annual safety. They have done like regular monitoring.
Yeah.
Like it's not unsafe, the grounds crew and the operations department has checked it, but to do the more sophisticated sort of impact testing, which is really needed to assess risk.
Yeah.
That would be looking to be carried out shortly here.
Okay, thank you.
Just a quick reminder thank you, Chair, to trustees, that we're not the only school in the province that's in this situation. A number of them are teetering, getting ready to replace. Victoria's been fundraising for 2 or 3 years to get theirs done. So for where the money will come from, 300,000 sounds a lot better than $1 million. Plus, we're not quite sure that $1 million will do it either. So could be a little higher than $1 million. So I think that this reach or how we're proceeding is a good point at this point.
I have a question and a comment. This additional or this annual safety testing, like the more intensive one, like you were just saying, is this an additional cost to us that we, is this something that we anticipate every year, or is it this an additional cost to us?
the costs are minimal for the testing now, especially now that the operations department has done it. It would be something that would be expected sort of annually for a synthetic turf.
Right.
Maybe not in the first year after install, but
Right.
it would be part of our due diligence sort
Right.
of moving forward.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and I just wanted to make a comment that I appreciate that you have a plan to move forward no matter what. Sometimes I feel like we get stuck not making a decision. So I appreciate that you have timelines and no matter what, we can keep moving forward because I think that it's been one of our things. So thank you, Assistant Superintendent Messenger. Yes, go ahead.
No, it's a good question. I'm not really sure I understand it because the question was, is it an additional cost? And I heard a couple of explanations, but it'll be part of our due diligence. So additional cost, will that be part of the school district? It's a word I should use, or base funding, core funding, or will this be in addition to? That's what I thought the question was alluding to. So I just feel better if I had some clarification on that.
The chair response. I need the director of operations here to speak to the exact specifics of the cost. I know it's low, and it would be part of our regular operating costs. It has been part of our regular operating costs to test it up to this point, and there's a plan to test it again this year. So I'm not sure if that's interesting.
Well, it's kind of an answer. Operating cost, is that part of the budget that the school district gets, and will it come out of that? That's what my question is. So this is really just approving to put that expense towards the standard budget that you have to operate with, correct?
So we have an operation budget
Yes.
that is an allocation towards the operations department. And then they would have it. Alex Taylor is our operations director.
No, that part I understand.
Oh, and then, yeah,
All we're saying is we don't have to do fundraising.
oh, yeah, no, not for the additional testing.
That's, I think, what was the gray area for me,
Oh,
so that
yes, no.
clarifies it.
Yeah, I was just making sure it wasn't
I've done
a.
decades of administration, so that's a simple question, just looking for a simple answer. You gave it, thank you.
You're welcome.
That's it, thanks. Yeah.
And I will, Mr. Wiley.
If they decide to keep the turf, that's $1 million.
Yeah.
That's a fundraising, gotta start now if we don't, it's gonna fail.
That's not the question though, so thanks. Yeah, thanks.
Okay, do we have any more comment? Oh,
Sorry.
Oh, Helen. Trustee Zanetti.
Thank you, Chair Orr. To staff, I have two questions. First one is, I just wanted to clarify that the partner groups are well aware that if the testing fails during the year, that they will no longer be able to use the field. And as part of that question, the school, ADSS, do they have a plan should the field not be safe for them to play on as well in the meantime, until we get a new field?
Through the chair. Yes, the user groups know that if it was not safe, we couldn't allow for their use. I don't think there's a real clear contingency plan. I can tell you that the schools does utilize our city fields surrounding the school quite a bit, which I would assume that would be our option. It does connect to ongoing conversations that we're having with the Parks and Recreation Department about a joint use agreement, because at one time we had a formal joint use agreement and that's lapsed. So that is connected to our use of the fields, but it's also connected partly to our turf field replacement as well.
And if I may ask a follow-up, Chair?
Yes, you may.
Thank you. So again, to staff, so should at the end of the year, if $1 million has not been raised, but perhaps 500,000 or 600 or what have you, or maybe only 100 has been raised, is there a plan or an intention to possibly look at doing upgrading from just the grass field with that extra money?
Go ahead.
Sure. The purpose of putting these motions forward now, or recommending these motions, is to really give the school and user groups a clear bar and a clear target. If they were unsuccessful in hitting that mark, but had raised a significant portion of funds, I don't think we could allocate those funds to a different purpose. I think it would have to be a discussion of the board at the time, how they would want to approach that. Again, I think the intention here is to really create that clear goal. As that is what I've heard from the user groups, is they want to understand what the ask is, and get clarity there.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any more comments or questions on the motions on the table? No? Okay, go to vote. All in favor? Very much. Okay, moving on down to policy. We have quite a few policies for adoption. Trustee Zanetti, would you like to speak to this?
Sure, thank you. So the following policies completed a 30-day public consultation with no feedback received, having closed at 4 p.m. on November the 27th. So the motion that the Board of Education adopt all of those policies listed there under 11.1 as presented.
Thank you. May I have a seconder on that motion? Second, Craig. Thank you. Any comments or questions on the policies? Nope. All right, all in favor? Great. Good job, everybody. Okay. 11.2, go ahead, Trustee Zanetti.
Thank you. The following policies under 11.2 were reviewed by the policy committee and are recommended to be sent out for 30-day consultation period. So I motion that the Board of Education direct staff through the superintendent to publish those policies under 11.2 for a 30-day public consultation period.
Thank you. And second, second. Any comments or questions on these? I just wanted to make a quick comment that I don't know if people around the table are aware, but these will be on our website. So if you do want to check them out or have any comments on them, please feel free to have a look-see. All right. Any further comments or questions on the summits? Okay. All in favor to go to? Fine. Great. Motion is passed. Thank you very much. Thank you, Trustee Zanetti. All right. Moving on down, we don't have any notice of motions. Now 13.1, Adulting 101. So we got this lovely email. I guess I can speak to this. We got this lovely email from a couple of students at ABSS, and I would just like to formally respond to them. So yes, Trustee Bray.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to make a motion that the Board of Education direct Chair Orr to send a reply to the students on behalf of the board, thanking them for their request and explaining the process of how their request will be handled.
Second. Thank you. Any comments or questions? Yes, Trustee Bray.
Thank you. I almost wanted to amend the motion, but are they going to be invited to the boardroom to present to us in person?
I have been, I don't want to say instructed, but told the procedure. And so I'm putting it back to the students about how to formally get a class at ADSS. And then I believe that they can come present when they're ready, right? But yeah, it's part of the process, but they just kind of skipped a few steps, which I like to do sometimes too. Yeah. Yes, Trustee Washington.
Thank you, through the chair. Part of our jobs as educators is to educate on many things and having kids ready when they leave the school system. So I think this is awesome, and that the kids are trying to put it forward themselves is even more impressive. So
definitely. Okay, any more further comments or questions on this? Oh, Trustee Zanetti. Thank you for waving.
No worries. Thank you. This might be premature. I'm not sure if staff can answer this, but I am curious. Is this Adulting 101 that they're proposing very different or completely different than like the CLE, the Career Life Education and the Career Life Connections classes? I don't know if you can answer.
Dvorak?
It is different?
We'll answer it.
Yeah. Do you want to, okay.
I mean, there are certainly some overlap in terms of the outcomes of career life connections and Adulting 101. I think that would be part of the process, is finding out specifically from the students, working with the school staff around what are the learning objectives of this course, and is it just separate from already existing course, and if so, how do we put it through as a board authorized or approved course?
And can I ask a follow-up?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Just, I think I heard Assistant Superintendent Messenger answer, but this would be like the BAA courses that's the process that we'll be following. Is that correct?
Yes.
From what, through the chair, from what I see as in their proposal, is that would be the way it would need to come through as a board authorized course.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Trustee Joseph and then Trustee Craig.
Yeah, just through the chair, when you're saying board authorized process, but it has to be part of the BC curriculum. Yes, no?
Boards are allowed to approve courses, and we submit them to the ministry for
Okay.
approval.
Right.
We have seen a number of courses, as an example, New Challenge Leadership, I think, was the
Yeah.
last one through that. You know, and I think that's part of the process too, of understanding this request. Like, are they wanting it as a board authorized course, or are they wanting to appeal to the ministry for another like a course through the curriculum, which is a whole nother.
Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Craig.
Just a brief, thank you, Chair. Just a brief reminder that this has come to us before, and it could be part of a course that's already offered if that's what the school chooses to do. But the kids are approaching it from this point of view. When you get into the nitty gritty, the board authorized courses are a little more fulsome than what they're asking for. So it could be that the school could incorporate, but they have to go through that process to make their own decision, basically, where it should actually go. Okay.
I just want to say, I actually, when I first got this email, I was like, approved. I like kids taking initiative and, hearing what they want to learn. So I appreciate that. So, yes, so this was nice but I understand that there's process. We're all learning, right? Peter told me that. We're all learning together.
Peter.
All right, there's a motion on the table. All in favor? Perfect, motion is passed. Thank you. Okay, moving on down 14, correspondence for information only, the Banfield Community School Annual Report. Is there any comments or questions on that?
Busy.
Yeah, it's very busy.
I would really like to.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I would really like to go on that hike.
Oh.
Down into high ground. You think about Banfield, you're climbing face, huge. I just love to find out how to go there. Sometime I'll make it. We're gonna go on.
I believe in you. We go together.
Yeah.
Any more comments or questions on the Banfield Annual Report? It's a good one. Okay.
Yeah, totally.
All right. Okay, moving down to page 28. Sorry. So when I was the provincial counselor for our school district for the BCSTA, which is the BC School Board Trustees Association, they the last provincial council kind of threw out that they might be changing some of the AGM rules or annual general meeting rules. And they just wanted to put it out to the table to see how we felt about it. I know I briefly discussed it. There's 4 specifically. One was tile the doors, which I put it in the package, so I'm not going to read through it, but I just wanted to know if anybody has any comments or questions about them or how certain feelings about them or anything like that. Yes, Trustee Bray.
Thank you, Chair. I'm in support of all 4, actually.
Okay.
In previous life, I wore a union leader hat, and so I have a bit of experience going to conventions and stuff like that, and I can't believe this isn't done. I was a bit shocked. The first AGM I attended, I was like, ooh, so many pros, no cons. There's so many cons, no pros, and just little things I think it would tidy up.
Yeah.
There's a lot of business that we have to take care of at the AGM, so this makes sense, and I'm in support of all 4 of them.
Thank you. Trustee Craig.
Thank you very much, Chair. Exactly. Thank you, Trustee Bray. This has been a long time coming. There's been a couple instances at AGM that got out of hand.
Yep.
And most recently, this was really out of hand. So that's why they finally put their foot down, thank goodness. And likely it should run a lot more smoothly going forward. So absolutely every single thing that's being recommended, it's important that we consider and make sure that it happens.
Thank you very much for your opinion. Trustee Zanetti.
Thank you, Chair, to the board. So I'm just curious, is this, we providing feedback now, or do you want feedback submitted to you and then you're going to submit it to BCSDA, or how's that working?
Yes, so Trustee Craig now is the provincial councillor. So any feedback, if you don't want to provide it now, could go to her later. The next provincial council is in February, which I'm assuming they will request the feedback.
Okay, well, I'll give a little feedback now just so that the other trustees can hear it and make their own opinions. So it talks about possibly looking at purchasing equipment to have it online and so on. So I really think having a hybrid model, so allowing trustees from districts that can't travel, it's too far away. It's just, there's a lot of limitations to individual trustees being able to travel to these events, either costs or just time with their families or all those sorts of things. So I think that that option that they were talking about in here, it would be beneficial for all trustees to be able to have a voice and to have an opportunity to participate. So I think suggesting that they look at moving towards that kind of model would be a good thing. I also just wanted to say, I understand that it can get really long and so on, but those trustees that do travel that far and don't get an opportunity to have their voice heard, it's got to be really frustrating for them. So finding a balance is definitely what we need to do, but I just want to remind the board of that, of that fact for some of those people that come all that way and never get to say their piece. And everyone's piece does provide in perspective that is often slightly different. So thank you. Those are my comments.
Thank you, Trustee Zanetti. Trustee Ransom.
Well, thank you, Chair. I'd like to follow up on the comments from Trustee Zanetti, especially in regards to the hybrid option for attendance at provincial council or AGM. I know that logistically it could be seen as problematic, but I think that there's many districts now that are finding it difficult to send all trustees to as many events as they would like to attend. And I think that we're missing out on the perspectives from those communities, especially communities rural, remote in the far north, some of the island communities, Haida Gwaii example. We're missing those voices, and I think it's important to be more inclusive and be more diverse, and as we are attempting to do with our current configuration around the board table. So I support a hybrid model for attendance at these meetings and conferences, and I think we need to reinforce that in our comments and feedback. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Ransom. Any more comments or questions for trustee Craig to take up? No, okay, I appreciate it. Thank you, everybody. Okay, moving on down to 15.2, the table of partners meeting minutes. Any comments or questions on those minutes? Seeing none, okay. Any questions or comments about the Agricultural Development Committee meeting minutes? No, okay. What about comments on the Policy Committee meeting minutes? Policy Committee meeting minutes? No, okay. Questions from the audience? Ryan.
I'd just like to take a moment on behalf of the 82 to congratulate the board and everyone on moving forward on the co-governance model. I was there for that inaugural board meeting some time ago, and it's very good to see you move forward with that initiative, and look forward to working with everybody at the table. I would like to officially, on behalf of all the teachers in the school district, thank the board for their time and energy, and senior staff and those present and not present for everything that you do for all of our children, and for the good work that the school and the board does. So enjoy a well-deserved break. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and we will look forward to seeing you all well rested January 5th.
Thank you, Brian. Mr. Dvorak, thank you. Sorry, like first names. Okay, and that our next regular meeting of the Board of Education will be held on January 27th, 2026 at 4 p.m. here at the board office. And I adjourn the meeting at 5:22 p.m. Have a Merry Christmas and happy holidays, everybody.